Welcome back, still doing the rounds here, and here we are at St. Ursula Medical College again. You've come to visit again today. St. Ursula Hospital has been open for regular checkups, even since the war began. I know times are tough, but after pulling off such an intensive surgery, we're ready to handle everything and anything. It doesn't fix everything and anything going wrong in the world right now, but saving a precious human life is a win in my book. That's what keeps me going these days. Good for you, mate. There are so many visitors coming in today, even though we're on the verge of war. But perhaps that makes sense. We want to see their loved ones before things get too chaotic after all. Yeah, they do. Oh, there's a blue down here. Who we got? It's cargo. Right, and I did say at the end of the previous part, it's like any kind of thing like that, I would switch up people and stuff like that in the group. So let's swap out Emma for now with Macias. And now head on back down. Let's see if we get anything here, and then we'll have to go back and swap Emma back in as well, but you know. 1, 2, 1, 2. I've been in the hospital for a while now, but it's made my body weak. But that's why I'm doing this rehab. After just a little bit of Pateri's special kick-your-ass rehab course, I can almost walk again. Pateri's the best. She sometimes scares the heck out of me, but she gets results. Oh, and speaking of Pateri, my doctor gave me this book a while ago. Thing is, I got the exact same book from Pateri when she came to visit me. I'm a little worried that if Pateri sees 2 copies of the same book, she'll think I'm not grateful or something. So yeah, you can have the other one the doctor gave me. Okay, thanks. Looks like it's the final volume. I'll be sure to read it carefully. I can do this. Pateri is counting on me. I have to get all better as soon as possible. Nothing from Macias? Nothing? I would have expected something. Alright, back to the bridge. Oh, the music's gone. Right, so, pretty spill. There'll be a lot of that in future, isn't there? I just feel it. Alright, so, they actually met up. Oh, thank you. Heathcliff, thank Adios, it's really you. Mercedes, what are you doing here? I was distraught when I heard that you had joined the army, so I demanded that Hawkins bring me here to see you. I'm very sorry. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to worry you, but it seems to have had the opposite effect. I know the feeling all too well, but now that I've found you, there's something I want to tell you. Of course, please do. After the war, if our families refuse to give us their blessing, would you run away and elope with me, so that we may share our entire lives together? Mercedes? I never wanted to hear anything more. Of course, I vow to spend the rest of my life with you. Nothing else could make me happier. General Van Dyke has come to St. Ursula Hospital on an official visit. Never thought I would be reunited with Mercedes here. I have to survive this war so I can return her affections. That's lovely. I'm very interested about your necklace, though. Can I get a good glimpse on that necklace? Not sure what the design is. Interesting, no? I'm totally hopeless at making decisions in these kind of situations, but it is a wonderful thing to be able to communicate how you feel. Once the war is over, I know that Heathcliff will keep his promise to me. Indeed. My lady looks more radiant than ever. Given their long-standing familial animosity, I cannot imagine that her parents will ever accept a man of House Andrews. In spite of the obstacles in his way, I believe this young man values the grand responsibility of being charged with my lady's heart. Indeed, you're a good guy, Hawkins. Though House Andrews stands an affront to the very idea of nobility, it is not beyond my comprehension why my lady pines for him so. My lady has chosen to walk a hard road, but I will show my unwavering support. You're a great guy, Hawkins. You're good. The chief told me the good news. Dr. Sanin pulled off the surgery. Been so preoccupied with worrying about everyone who had to fight in the conflict recently. Getting such amazing news has really packed me up. Chief told me the good news. Packed me up. Apparently, the surgery for our patient in the VIP ward was a great success. The news is all over the hospital already. I wanted to make some delicious food to celebrate, but some people might find it insensitive and get mad. What do you think? This surgical success gives me hope for Nina's operation. I'm glad that the Emperor, I mean the VIP ward patient's surgery, wink wink, went well. Nina's next and I know this will be super encouraging for her. Yes, royal hashed rice. Get one of them. Excellent. Alright. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Where else to go on that floor and there was no more dots? No dots, no dots. Hello! Actually, I got a letter from my ex-wife who lives in the Burl. She suggested we have a family get-together along with our son and his wife, since we never know when we'll see each other again. I had only just started to turn my life around. Don't feel like I can face my son yet, let alone my ex-wife. I can't just keep running away like I used to. I gotta change. The rumor is that the Imperial troops are advancing from the Labelle front. Just hope everyone is careful out there. I'll try and be positive about the reunion when I reply. When I'm home again, I'll discuss this with Mr. Dance. I'm just worried my ex-wife will say that I'm running away again, like nothing's ever changed. Let's see how that story develops, but I doubt we will. Huh. Who in the group would we want? Because that's a green star. Randy, maybe? Let's go back to the Courageous and see. It's that one Ash. And it's like, Randy, yeah. Who would be connected to this in some way? I think maybe only Randy out of those three. Like, cause yeah, we've got the Labelle representative here in Tita, but if it was Chloe, that would be different, but it's like, Tita, no. Okay. I think that's good for us. Okay, so back we go. Now, if it isn't our friends from Thor's. I presume you're here about Emperor Ugent. That's right. I'd heard the surgery was successful, but I was still concerned. I could presume you're here for, I'm here working in tandem with the Empire to support His Majesty's recovery. Also here to visit my aunt. I hadn't been able to find the time, and I figured this would be the perfect opportunity. The name's Sayland. You guess there'd be a family connection. Lucy's a part of the main family. Anyhow, the surgery was a success. With the patient connected to life support, we managed to remove the bullet and close the incision. It was a major surgery and largely unprecedented. There was enough time to run a simulation. Indeed, the staff did a very good job. It's impressive that the specialized life support machine was ready so quickly considering its rarity, especially with all the adjustments made for His Majesty. That's a sizable task in and of itself. It appears there was some information exchanged between the Intelligence Division and Salem HQ after the shooting. Note that the railway military police made sure the transport was safe and timely too. So that's how things are. I think that Major Claire and Lecter were working behind the scenes to help us. Anyway, overall the surgery was a success and the patient has been recovering well. Ordinarily, we would still not allow visitors at this point in time. I suppose we can make a small exception considering the circumstances. You'll let us meet him. He is resting now, but perhaps it'll be less of a strain on him that way. Is that your medical opinion? Fine, I'll permit your visitation rights. I can give you 5 minutes, and please do stay quiet. Oh, hello everyone. Thank you for taking the time to visit. Empress Priscilla. How is His Majesty's condition? He's been sleeping well, as you can see. His face looks so calm and serene. It's hard to believe he's just gone through a major surgery. I owe my deepest gratitude to the staff of St. Ursula for saving him. I mustn't forget that. Not at all, Your Majesty. His tenacity and your dedication are just as much to thank. Would that well wishes alone could do so much. I've long been watching over him, ever since the day I began my service to the palace as a young girl. I looked on as a creeping shadow of gloom wrapped itself around his very soul. The day he lost his beloved Ariel was the day he shut himself off from the world. It's been a long time since I've seen him so peaceful. It truly does bring me joy. Is that right? Seems I've caused you no shortage of stress. Your Majesty. Oh, Priscilla, my dear, forgive me for all the worries I've given you. Don't be silly. It is ever my duty as Empress to support Your Majesty. You're always so kind and considerate. What would I do without you? It is a blessing to be able to see you all again. One I am most thankful for. The honor is ours, Your Majesty. We're just relieved to see the operation went through all right. It's a nice surprise to see you doing so well. Indeed, the source of the curse appears to be leaving the honor bloodline be. In other words, the curse itself must be reaching its zenith. To think I'd be able to see it in my lifetime, this too must be Adios' will. Right now, Adios' will is for you to focus on your recovery. We'll sort things out from here. After all, I've got my own scores to settle. I wish we'd brought Princess Alfred and Prince Oliver along too. Yes, but I couldn't put them in the group, so... This is as it should be. My children have their own matters they need to attend to. Of course. Your Majesty, there's something else I have to inform you of. Rean tells Emperor Eugene III a brief summary of the final volume of the Black Records. So that's how things are. These records passed down through my bloodline for ages. Spelt out history as we knew it. Yet now its eternal chronicle has finally come to a close. I found myself tormented by these inescapable prophecies. It seems the end of an era is upon us. Your Majesty. Go forth, my young lion cubs. Do not hesitate to follow the path that is true to yourselves. Yes, Your Majesty. We'll push through and find our way. That I promise. Rean Schwarzer, you have the same spirit as my ancestors before me. I sincerely pray that you and your father are able to find the closure the two of you so rightly deserve. Indeed. Soon after, Emperor Eugene III fell asleep once more. Rean and the others then left the ward, entrusting his care to Empress Priscilla. Well, that was lovely, wasn't it? It seems that you were able to spend your time meaningfully. Yes, not only were we able to speak to Her Highness, Empress Priscilla, we were even able to talk to His Majesty for a little bit. Is that so? Glad to hear it. I don't mean to brag, but I'm proud to say I've been called in on a number of high-difficulty operations. This one, however, was far and away the most challenging one I've ever undertaken. A key factor in its success was being able to utilize the artificial cardiopulmonary device provided specifically for the surgery. The Intelligence Division and Railway Military Police truly have my gratitude for making this possible. Judging by your reactions, I'm assuming you know exactly who took care of it. If possible, I'd appreciate you conveying my gratitude to the appropriate parties. Understood. I'll see what I can do. I will say, just because the operation was successful doesn't mean we are all in the clear yet. From here on out, I'll be working on a rehab plan while I observe his post-op recovery progress. Now then, I should get back to work. Yomengarn, Mini Mirage, and Shining Steel. Meferi will have to keep a watchful eye on all three. Forgive me for not being able to help any more than that. I wish you good luck. And Adios willing, I pray that you manage to find the hope in all of this that no one else could. We'll absolutely try. By the way, about the Major. If possible, could you forget about that for the time being? He's already made up his mind. I fear he may have prepared himself for this from the very beginning. It's better now that you and I concentrate on the task before us. That's the reason I came to this country, not him. Got it. I promise you, we'll find a way to break the hold of this curse, once and for all. It's a relief just to hear you say that. I'll be wishing you the best of luck. I got this last chance to speak with you all. Rean, you need to be careful not to push your body too hard. The success of this operation depends on all of you being fighting fit. I think His Majesty is feeling much better now that he's spoken to you all. Excessive stress is hard on the body. His recovery should make significant strides now that he's less tense. Imagine you all racked with your own burdens and anxieties too. Please be sure not to neglect your own health. Your lives are no less important than the fate of the world. Thank you, Cecile. We'll take your kindness to heart. Lloyd told me everything. The operation starts this afternoon, huh? Please come back safely. Don't push yourself too hard if you get injured, you hear? Indeed. I expected maybe something from Randy there with Cecile, but didn't really get much. It was worth doing, though. I wonder if we would have got more with Emma, to be honest, but Emma's the one that's interesting to me in all this. Right, anyway, back in we go into the hospital. Quite a few people around. But I saw someone who looked just like my late son. I was in such a trance chasing after him that I wound up in the headlights of an old car. He died in the Civil War, I know he did. And yet I really believe that maybe, just maybe. It's pathetic, really. Sure, we're on the eve of war, but that's no excuse to act the way I did. Now I have this damn concussion to remind me. Feels like my skull's splitting. Oh dear. The Empress passed by earlier. You could practically feel the joy on her face. I also heard the VIP patient's operation was a success thanks to Dr. Sayland and... Wait just a darn second. Don't tell me. The VIP patient was the Emperor all along? If the worst came to pass, who knows what would have happened to the Empire or the war? Anywhere I could be trusted with such an important patient, it'd be St. Ursula for sure. It's an honor just to be admitted here. I haven't ever been to another hospital, so don't have first-hand experience, but you could just tell St. Ursula is the leading hospital on the continent, no doubt about it. Honestly, it's an honor just to be admitted here. Oh, no doubt, no doubt. Our VIP post-op vitals are looking good. I'd say we've hurdled over the worst of it by now. I'm sure our guys stationed at the front will be glad to hear that. Same goes for everyone who moved over to America. But that can wait. The hospital's a lot more crowded than usual today. Plus, we have a relative of Dr. Sayland stopping by. I know. Must makes you forget the war starts this afternoon. It hardly even feels like it. There's a lot of visitors bustling about today. Still, things feel a lot calmer now that the big operation's done and dusted. Must makes you forget the war starts this afternoon. Hardly even feels like it. Cyril? I'm so glad you're feeling better, Mr. Vanson. I'll be right here with you, so feel free to walk as you please. I appreciate it, thanks, Cyril. Gotta say, you had me worried there when you started shouting that you were Cecile now all of a sudden. But after that, it's like you really were a whole other person. It's thanks to you that I feel my old self again. I couldn't have asked for a better nurse, I mean it. Oh, Mr. Vanson, you charmer, you. You're so nice to be appreciated, you know? If I keep this up, may feel seeing how great a nurse I can be for sure. Yes. Cyrone's a bit of an airhead, but... she's a clumsy one at that. But still, just can't hate the girl. Don't see anything wrong with staying in her care till I'm discharged. It's the worst that could happen. Don't say that. The war between the Republic and the Empire that we feared for so long is finally here. It's stressing me out so much it's making my palpitations worse. It would do me, I mean, just the war. I'll be transporting wounded soldiers here once the war begins. As such, we're taking extra care to make certain that not a moment goes by without ample resources and available beds. Fortunately, We've received enough funding to cover the medical supplies we'll need. With that, our preparations are complete. All we can do now is watch the horrors of war unfold before our very eyes. Alright. Fortunate enough to have received enough funding to cover the medical supplies we'll need. With that, our preparations are complete. Watch the fire unfold, yes! We relay military medical supplies to the cross-Bellan front from this hospital. It's our goal to save as many wounded soldiers as humanly possible, to help in any and every way we can. I think I speak for all of us at St. Ursula when I say that. I think you do. It's your job to save lives. But it's your duty? No, it's your privilege. I took a look at some data regarding the techniques Dr. Seelin used during the big surgery. It was an impossibly difficult operation, to say the least. I am certain only the doctor herself could have pulled it off. But what if I reached that level? I could save so many more lives. That settles it. While Luke's off in the army, I'll hone my techniques, bit by bit, till I'm a medical maestro like no one's ever seen before. Luke's probably working his socks off over in the military right now. I've been at this residency business longer than him, so I'll have to pull my own socks up if I want to stay on top of my game. Pretty sure my daughter's room was 202. She should be fit to check out after a few more weeks of medication. In the meantime, I brought her some books to make sure she doesn't die of boredom in here. Yes. Second floor. It doesn't say new on the second floor, but it's like, well, there's gotta be new, isn't there? It just is. I never thought we'd both end up in the hospital together. I was just walking around, wool gathering over something or another. And all of a sudden, I found myself taking a tumble and snap. The rest is history. This is no laughing matter. About our house. Now that no one's there, any old crook could stroll on in and rob us blind. Now, that's what the military police are for. As I hear talk, the SSS is secretly on the move again. The whole world's up in a tizzy as we lurch into war. For this old man, it's just another Friday. It's Friday? Oh yeah. Don't you think that we both break our bones far too easily? Gideon, have you seen how ancient we are? And don't try dolling yourself up to hide it either. Only so much lipstick we can put on an old granny like you. Well, I never. No matter how old and grey I get, I'm still a maiden at heart. Oh dear. Assuming if I speak to you, you'll be the same. Yep. Oh dear. Okay, Nina. It's time to take your temperature again. I'm feeling a lot better today. I think my fever's going down. But it's all because of yesterday's episode. It was that good. I know, right? I ended up listening in myself. So dramatic. But I guess that's why they call it a radio drama, huh? Anyway, how about we try and get some lunch in you? Okay? Gotta eat as much as I can to build up my strength for the surgery. Once I get better, I'm gonna become the world's most ultimate pianist. And then, when I'm super duper famous, I'll get you tickets to come see me play. Linda has to come too. Oh, Nina, we wouldn't miss it for the world. She must be that Radio Trista superfan Monk and Linda mentioned a while back. Seeing that grin on her face almost makes the whole acting fiasco I went through worthwhile. Aww. Nina seems to have really perked up. That's a good sign as far as the operation's success is concerned. We'll just have to make sure to turn that sign into a reality. But I want to speak to Nina. There. They told me the VIP is all done with his operation. That means it's my turn next. It's always been my dream to be a world-famous pianist. So I'm not going to let a little surgery stop me, no sir. Good for you, Nina. Good for you. And Dr. Satan's big surgery must have been a success considering how relieved everyone looks. Now, that is a welcome piece of good news. I mean, it doesn't really affect me at all, but hey, a guy should be happy for his fellow patients. Besides, that proves it. St. Ursula medical care really is second to none. So, I've got nothing to fear going into my own surgery. I hope. This proves it, St. Ursula. I hope, yes. I hear Dr. Luke's following in Dr. Layton's steps as a field medic. I used to have frequent consultations with him, actually. He often mentioned how happy he was to get the chance to study here, but war, like illness, can change a person's life in no time flat. But it can. But it can. Phew, what a relief. The operation went through without a hitch. Thanks in no small part to Dr. Sen's masterful handiwork, of course. Still, no medical miracle can change the fact that the war starts today. Even that old, Dr. Largo, joined up as a field medic. I have to admit, even I'm a bit worried. But knowing him, he'll just save a whole squadron's worth of lives out there and stroll right back in, smirking all the while. I'll just have to ace my next operation, maybe draft up a new thesis while I'm at it. That'll take the wind out of the old codger's sails. Cargo's working hard at this rehabilitation out front. Really thrown himself into it ever since Patilli stopped by. Before that, he'd just hold up under the sheets. Seeing him now, you'd never believe it. Yeah, he needed that talking to. Today is the day that war finally breaks out. My brother's been posted to the front line of Crossbell, where the fighting will be fiercest. Hope he comes home safely. If he doesn't, I just know I'll get a stomach ulcer again. Oh yeah, that's your concern. That's your concern. Alright, let's start heading towards Mishlam then. Had something to do with the Fisherman's Guild here, didn't we? Well, here I am at Mishlam. Again. Time to make the most of it. No war in the world can stop my love, no sir. I'd keep coming here even if they pelted me with spears the whole way, and that's a fact. That's a fact? That's a worrying fact. Oh dear, oh dear. Hello, you two. Not a soul on the cruise ship today, huh? Looks like it. Wonder if Mimi's doing okay. She must be so scared all by herself. Hey, Sally. Why don't you take off early and go home? This won't be much of a two-guide job today, after all. Really? I know how worried you are about your daughter. Go spend some time with her. I can hold down the fort here. Did I really look that upset? Some tall guide I am. Still, thanks. Think I just might take you up on that. That's nice of Guide. My husband, Abel, works for the Governor General's office. He's been snowed in with work now that the Imperial Defense Force has taken over. I was considering staying home with Mimi. It's the least I could do for them in the meantime. Think I'll take the chance to clock out early today after all. I know, Sally. Every second she's not working goes to worrying about her little girl instead. I want her to be supportive, you know? And give them the time together she's been wanting so badly. That's nice of you, that is nice of you. Right, let's get the insidey bit done. Feels weird to be back here after we just spent like a night here. Hello? Meow meow. Must be easier to relax without all the visitors around, huh? Meow meow. Who's actually here? We just got a few dots around, okay. I've gone into an awful fright, now that the battle is only hours away. What if Mishlam gets hit in the crossfire? Just the thought of it fills me with terror. Still think this will be a safer location than other places. Perhaps it's best I go back home to Crossbell City. It's hard to escape the turmoil of your paranoia when you're on your own. At least here, the bright lights of Mishlam can help drive some of the worry away. Still, maybe I'd feel more relaxed back home in Crossbell City. I don't know where you'd feel comfortable, mate. It's up to you. You got that, Sal? We're not going to be able to see each other for a while. Don't go letting some other girl steal your heart, okay? Even if she's super cute and really nice. Doesn't matter, you're marrying me, got it? Of course I am, Amy. I said I'd be your future husband, didn't I? I won't cheat on you, promise. Besides, you're cuter than all those other girls combined. To me, anyway. Oh. Smooth, kid. But Sen is certainly shaping up to be a wonderful husband. That was smooth. Both of our families are going back home now that the war's about to start. We're saying our last goodbyes now, but something seems a little off about her. What if I said something wrong again? No, mate, no. Right, let's get these two and then we'll end this part and then rounds again in the next part, you know. Oh, it's you guys from yesterday. Well, any hot and steamy moonlight strolls by the beach with anyone? I know if it were me, I would have called up that one with a smoking bod and... What I mean to say is, information regarding beach operations or swimsuit rentals, just talk to me. Please and thank you. Remina had some harsh words for me after I finished work yesterday. Apparently I don't have a good enough attitude in front of the guests. Just thought our visitors would appreciate a friendly face more than some hoity-toity formalities. Welcome. I regret to inform you that the Mishlam Station Railway is under strict regulation at present. If you're looking to return back to Crossbell City, why not try taking the cruise ship instead? I had to give Celio a good talking to about how we treat our guests yesterday. He hadn't even bothered to read the employee handbook. Can you believe it? It should be fine now. I have a feeling he won't do anything to embarrass us again. Isn't that right, Celio? Yes, Remina. I mean, Miss Remina. Man, that look in her eyes is seriously freaking me out. Oh dear. Right, so we'll end this part here. In the next part, we'll go to the beach, and then see about going elsewhere in Mishlam once again. No penguins allowed, remember. No penguins. Ta-da for now.